shoot, I don't have a microphone. Hey, Bibbs, are you using your other computer? Or, well, you've got it. Yeah, but I just need a microphone. I don't actually have to have the camera. But I can't hear anything until I have audio hooked up to it. So can you plug it in there? Here, click escape. It's not real tech. Why is this taking so long? Close that out. And then go down where the microphone is crossed out. Click that little arrow next to it. Cross it out. Okay, the little arrow next to it. And then same as system. Microphone, you need to do it again, up near the top. Speakers, do the Realtek. It's not taking them. Click that out. Hit microphone webcam. Select microphone, up, up, up. Okay, now why can't I hear anybody? Do the test mic.
Test. Okay,
so the microphone's working. Test speaker. But nothing. I won't use it tomorrow, but I just need to be aware of what's going on. You can get rid of that box above it.
I'm working on it, so we'll just keep it.
I'll be right there, Darren.
Okay.
Do your thing. I'll look at this.
Did you get my last email? I sent it just about half an hour ago with a worksheet.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that is, let me grab the test papers.
I actually gonna send you one right now for
Okay.
for today. With some pictures.
Excellent.
I did another practice test. I scored 154, but I'm still not comfortable.
There's a few problems you're just not going to be comfortable with. One of them is this one. Let me get back here.
Yeah, I just you send me the pictures and on the sides how you solve it, but I just
Yeah,
don't know.
this is a 5-minute problem if you're comfortable with it. So if you get one of these and the answers look like this, mark it and move on. Because this, the thing I sent you, that's all the
Yeah.
steps. And it's a
You
lot.
send me that.
It's a lot of calculating. It's a lot of keeping things in order. And unless you are going to take an algebra class, this really should not be on the test. But it is. And that's what it'll look like. You'll have the same pattern of answers. Just mark it, move on, because it's not worth your time.
You know, something else that I was looking videos on YouTube, how of this question, that which table of values represents a function.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually sent me a question like that yesterday.
Yes. And there's a way to get around those, and that makes it easy. All right, let me print this out. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems. 1 through 6. Print. And then have you used the formula sheet on the practice test?
That one is the one that appears on the GED.
Yeah.
On every test.
Oh, this is interesting. My camera's not responding.
So you know, one of the ones that you explained me yesterday.
Yeah.
Which was the finding the height of the cone.
Yes.
I was like I was looking to the formulas, right? But you know the one that I just don't know how to find the height. They just give you the surface area and the volume.
Yeah.
And then you took the volume one, and you just did it like that. And that I didn't know that, you know.
Yeah, so you can figure out this from either direction as long as there's only one thing missing. If there's 2 things missing, you can't figure it out.
Uh-huh.
And so they should be very careful about making sure that you've got all the information you need. But they may give you the volume, which was the 12. And so when you draw out this, when you fill in this formula, it's 12 equals 1/3 pi, which is always 3.14. The radius, which for this one was 1.5, I think, because the diameter was 3 squared. And then you didn't get height, so you leave height as the variable, the h. and you figure out the rest of this. And you ignore the 12 at first. Do the 1/3 times pi times 1.5 squared. And then you get 12 equals that number, h.
Yeah. Like I
And
know they were giving me the volume as well, but
yeah.
I just didn't know if it. I don't know. I didn't know how to do it with that
Well,
formula.
it's sneaky of them, because in class, if you're doing this in a class, you're going to be finding the volume every time. And then on the test, they turn it around and give you the volume, but you learned to use this part in order to find V. It's crazy. But that can work for any of these. So if they say you've got a pyramid and its surface area is, what is the base? You can figure that out by just plugging in the numbers, just as it is in the formula. And just know, they want to trip you up, but you're smarter than they are. So it's not gonna work. They won't be able to trip you up. All right. These are the ones you sent me.
Yeah, we can go over those real quick if you want.
All right. Where'd my pen go? I must have dropped it. Where is my pen? All right, so Jermaine has T subway tokens. Karen has 4 more than Jermaine. So Jermaine has T, which means Karen has T plus 4. Raul has 5 fewer than Jermaine. So Raul has T minus 5. Which expression represents the ratio of Karen's tokens to Raul's? So we know this one's Karen. This one's Raul. And when you do ratio, you may have seen them look like this, say 1:3. Or it can be 1/3. It's the same thing. Either one of those is a ratio. So we're looking for Karen over Raul. So T plus 4 over T minus 5. You got that right. Good job. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I wanted to just make sure that I did it right.
Yeah, you did. So I hope you get a couple of these that are easy for you, because it'll just make the rest of the test seem less daunting. All right, a covered water tank is the shape of a cylinder. The tank has a 28-inch diameter and a height of 66. What is the surface area? So we need our formulas. The surface area of a cylinder is surface area equals 2 pi radius height plus, wow, this one's long, 2.
That gave me the answer B, but just another way, because I tried to do it with that formula, but I didn't get to the point. It was giving me the right answer.
Okay, let's see if we can do this. So we're looking for the surface area.
Mm-hmm.
We know that pi is 3.14. What's the radius going to be?
14.
Yes. 14, and then the height is 66.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2 again times pi 14. That's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And the best thing to do is type the whole thing into the calculator that's online, because your calculator will deal with it. So we're just going to start multiplying. 2 times 3.14 times 14 times 66, and we can say equals, plus 2 times 3.14 times 14, and then the little exponent button here, 14 squared, and you got to move that. See how it's up high?
Mm-hmm.
You want to arrow off so it's big again, and then you hit enter. 7033.6, 3.6, and our answers are right there. B. Did you get B?
Yeah, I got B, but I tried to do that formula and I just didn't.
You must have done it right. Or did you just guess?
No. I went to online to, you know, that's those websites that give you the answer.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I had the formula. I was doing all those steps that you just did, but I don't know. I was getting a wrong number as an answer.
interesting. And this you have to round up in order to get that. But the thing to do is, the good thing about the calculator online, it also tracks everything. So if you do this and you don't have an answer that matches, go back and look. What did I do? Because you should be able to see it all. And you can,
The one that you're able to go to the test with is this one, right? The 30x,
no,
something.
it's got to be this one. 30XS multi-view.
Oh my God. I have 30x 2s.
Yeah, they won't let you take that one in.
Not this one.
No. Do you?
They're way too picky on me.
Yeah, they're very, very picky. It's nice if you can take one in just because you've got it and you don't have to pull it down online.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
So let's see.
Clicking number by number.
Yeah, I wonder if the testing center rents them. You know, after we're done today, oh, it's 3 o'clock. Maybe first thing in the morning, call the testing center and see if they rent them.
Okay.
And if they do, rent one, because it's really nice to have it in your hand. And then you can go up and you can see everything you punched in, which makes it even nicer because you can go back and check work that you did earlier. Just don't clear it all out. Just keep going down. So, oh, I got a nice big reflection right in the middle of that. So does this make sense? I think you're on the right track. It was probably just a finger fumble on the calculator.
Yeah, maybe.
And just, you know, use parentheses when you need to so numbers don't run into each other. And you're just using them to separate them. And when you get here, don't forget to square that radius. But I think you'll be okay on those, because they don't change. Once you've got the formula, you just plug the numbers in, and then it's making sure everything gets punched into the calculator. All right, what is the solution set of the equation? This one's wrong. They didn't do this correctly, because every time I've done it and I've had somebody else do it, I came up with 5, -2, And I think the answer is A, but I think it's a misprint.
Yeah, my girlfriend did it, and she got the answer A. But
Yeah.
I just don't know how to get the solution of the equation.
So let me see. I should have this.
How do you get a solution like that of to find a slope? Or I don't know if that's a slope.
It's not slope. It is factoring. So let me see if I can do this. I don't like these. These aren't fun for me. Some people love them. I find them annoying, and so I don't do them well. So what we're going to do is basically we are, and this is the stuff I sent you today, because you do have to know factoring, even if you don't like it. So you're breaking down x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 6. You're actually breaking down this part of the equation. And so you turn it into the set of bracket numbers. And we'll come back to this one after we do some of the new homework. So that's going to be x times x is going to be x squared. Because this is when you do FOIL again. This is going to be really confusing. Plus, this one's going to be minus because you've got a negative number there. Then you have to figure out what plus what equals 4, and what and those numbers have to, when they're times together, have to equal 3. So you're looking for factors of 4. You can go 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. Those are factors of 4. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So then, to get the middle number, you have to be able to add these two and get the middle number. So in this case, 1 and 4 is, well, 1 and negative 4 is 3. 2 and negative 2 is 0, because you don't want to forget that negative right there. So we're going to be dealing with 1 and 4, right? Because when we add 1 and negative 4, when we add them together, we get negative 3. I think.
It's 1 times negative 4 equals 4.
Yeah, 1 times 4 is the 4, or 1 times negative 4 is 4. And then when you add them, 1 plus negative 4 is negative 3. So you end up doing this, 1, 4, because the negative's already in there. And if you turn around and do, that's not going to work. Oh, I hate these. I'm not going to get the 3x. X squared, negative 3. Oh, I might, yeah, well, okay. I'm just jumping ahead of myself. So once you get this, that's all you're doing with this section right here, is you're factoring out numbers. You're breaking it down. And anytime you have an x squared, it's going to be x and x. Because when we go back and do the FOIL method to check our work, we're going to do first, which would be x times x, x squared. Outside, which will be x and negative 4. So negative or minus 4x. Then we're going to do inside 1x plus 1x. And then because we're going to do the last, it's 1 and negative 4. 1 times negative 4 is minus 4. And then we're going to combine these things. So x squared, negative 4x plus 1 is 3x minus 4. Except the problem is I've got a negative and that's a plus. This should be negative. This should be positive. These are not fun. You're probably going to have 2 of them on your test.
And
And
how
this
you get to the
doesn't-
point that you find -5 and 2 or whatever?
That's the thing. Yeah, I'm going to come back to this because I'm not doing it right and I'm going to confuse you. Hey, Dawn, you got to do a math problem. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Right here, I didn't get rid of the 4. I'm going to have my husband do it. And then explain it when you're done. All right, what else did
Well, this
you
is the one that
I know,
I,
I did it wrong. Oh, he's really fast. Maybe. I'm watching him, so now he's not going so fast. All right, let's look at this one. What is the value of x in the linear equality? That's it? We're all done? Oh, that's what I didn't do. I missed that step right there. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can do this. So he took this, he just rewrote it. So here is the original equation. What I failed to do was we got to get rid of that 6. So we can -6, just like we do in the linear equations. But what we do on one side, we do on the other. So -6, this makes it 0. And -6, -4, and -6 is -10. Now we can break it down. And I'll do this on video too, so you've got it and it's more concise. And then we just do exactly the factoring out, and that's how we get the 5 and -2. Which makes sense because 5 times 2, or 5 times -2 equals 10. And 5 plus -2 equals 3. And that'll make sense in the stuff I sent you because I wrote down the instructions.
That's just crazy.
It is crazy. And don't panic if you get something like this. Leave it for the end. And we'll do the quadratics, but I would say if you get one on the test, just skip it until the very end. And then take a guess on it. All right, what's the value of x in the linear equality? So this one, oops, you can't see, it just blurred up. We are going to combine all these terms. So we've got -3 times 4x. What's that going to be?
I don't know if it's 12 or -12.
Yes, you got it. It's -12x minus, and then use your calculator for this one because it's -3 times 8.2. So -3.
That's -24.6.
Yes, -24. Whoops.
Minus negative.
4.6. Oh, that is going to be a positive. Yeah, it's a double negative. And then we just keep doing the equation as it's written. And then we have -11.98 x. This side we don't have to do anything to. 14 3/4. Now our job is to get the numbers to one side of the equal sign and the variables to the other. So in this case, let's get rid of this 1198. So 11.98 plus. Same on this side, 11.98, which equals 0.02 x. Oh, that's hard to see. And then we're going to get rid of this 24.6 on both sides, negative 24.6. And 3/4, if you turn it into a decimal, is 0.75. And see what they did? They gave you one decimal and then a fraction. So make them look the same just for ease. Although you can type this whole thing into your calculator and the one online if you don't have a calculator with you. So we're going to get rid of, from 14.75, we're going to get rid of 24.6. So we've got 14.75 minus 24.6 equals negative 9.85. It's a lot. This is a lot of numbers, but you know how to do this because you've been doing it in linear equations. And then we've got negative 0.02x equals negative 9.85. We need to clear out the number from the x, so we're going to divide out the negative 0.02, which cancels on this side, so this is x. And then we're going to divide out negative 0.02. So again, we go back to our calculator. And we've got negative 9.85 divided by negative 0.02 equals 492.5.
Open them.
And again, this inequality right here stays the same. And there it is. X is less than 492.5. Does that make sense? You're shaking your head. That one's kind of icky, huh?
Now I can hear.
This one I'm going to do on video for you. So I'm going to do this one on video so you've got it.
Okay, what happened now?
Oh, can you not see me? I can see you and hear you.
No, I'm gonna go out for a sec. I'm gonna get up for a second. I can hear nothing.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear. No, se sigue esperando. Se sigue esperando. Hazme caso.
Okay.
En las cajonetas mías. The clear ones. I have that.
Band-Aids?
I have band-aids.
You think I'm buying new ones?
I use them all, but there's band-aids on the.
All right, so this one I'm gonna do as a video. It's just like any other linear equation, it just has some complications to it. But you just go bit by bit, you break down this -3 times 4x, -3 times 8.2. Don't worry about that, just keep it exactly the way it is. And this doesn't change until we get down here. So this is the new problem. And I will do this on video so it's cleaner. It makes more sense. And ultimately we ended up with 492.5.
Okay.
Which is this, because this inequality stays the same in the answer. So you know it's not that one, and you know it's not that one. But we got the 492.5, so it is C. And they like these bouncing ones with the graphs. All right. Let's look at this one. The graph shows the height of a ball in relation to the number of seconds since the ball was thrown. Which point represents the height of the ball at the time the ball was thrown? Click on the graph to plot the point. So as soon as the ball is thrown, that would be 0, correct?
Oh, I thought it was 5.
So think about, and they're sneaky. They're sneaky on purpose. So think about if you have a ball, it hasn't left your hand yet, so it's still at 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as you release it, it's going to be far away very quickly because of the force of your throw. But what they're asking, what point represents the height of the ball at the time it was thrown? It's very sneaky. It would actually be 0. Sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do that one in video. I'm going to do which one? Oh, this one in video. So we got through the ones that you turned in today. And I think you're going to be okay with the geometry problems.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's not a problem.
I was just double checking those with you.
Yeah. And then let me grab the papers I sent you.
Because I'm still getting a good score, but not enough because there's more exercises that keeps
Yes.
appearing, and I just don't feel comfortable with them.
We'll get you there. You've got a couple days. And did you take both your practice tests?
Yes, I did.
Because I can send you more if you want more.
Yes, please. I would like more.
And it's really nice to get comfortable with the system. Okay, why did this not print the other page I sent you? Okay, no, this is correct. This is what I want. No, it's not. I want file open. That's what I want. File print. All right. So I think this one is one that you will see. And it's what you have to do on oh, I missed one. We didn't do Stella and her car trip. Okay, so this one, as complicated as it was, is exactly the same format as this one. Except this one doesn't have a number outside that you have to multiply the interior with.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing this one, and this is a FOIL method again, first, outside, inside, last. So 2x times x is what?
2x and the little 2 on
Yes.
the x.
So 2x squared.
2x.
And then the outside is 2x times 4. So what would 2x times 4 be?
So that would be 8x or just
Got
8x?
it. You got it, 8x. And then inside would be 4 times negative 4, which is 16. And then the last was, oops, I did that wrong. I didn't do the inside. 4 times x is 4x. So I did these a little out of order because I didn't do the inside. All right, so we're gonna break this down and just basically simplify it. 2x squared. We can't do anything with that because that's correct the way it is. Negative 8x and 4x would be 4x, right? And then we're left with a 16. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 16. Answer is A. Does that make sense? Because you will have a couple of these on the test.
So what you did was subtracting 4 to the a to the 4x to the ax.
Yes. Because the 8x came from the inside numbers. Excuse me, the outside numbers, 2x times 4 times negative 4. And then the inside numbers, 4x. So we ended up with 2x squared, which is from first and first, minus 8x outside plus 4x inside minus 16. And so since we had 2x squared minus 8x plus 4x minus 16, we just needed to simplify these two. So negative 8x plus 4x is minus 4x. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 16.
Okay.
And you just keep track of the signs when you're multiplying. So positive 2x times positive x is a positive 2x squared. The outside numbers, positive 2x times negative 4, because the sign always goes with the number following. So 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. Then the inside, positive 4 times positive x is 4x. And then the last is 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And then you just combine like terms and you've got it. And it's A. And I can give you, I think I gave you some in what I sent Monday after we met. I think I gave you a page of these. And if you need more, I will send you more. So here is where we get into that factoring, and that is what is required for this one. This one. That's what we're doing with this, is we're factoring it out. I wish they would say, what is the solution based on factoring, but they're not. They're just going to give you the problem. And you're going to have to know by looking at it that you're just going to turn it into this. And this one's a little more difficult than the ones we're going to be working on because you have to get rid of the 6. But once you're comfortable with just factoring out a couple of numbers, you'll be able to do it all. So here again, we're looking for the greatest common factor. And we started with, oh, did I not give you the, well, that was brilliant. Let's see, hold on one second. We want, ten and 4, 10 and 4, 10 and 4. Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, this I should have had this at the top here. What you're looking at on this one is 10 plus 4x. Now it makes a little more sense. So the first thing to do is find the greatest common factor of 10 and 4. And this will tell us the term that goes outside of the bracket, if a term goes outside of the bracket. So what number goes into both 10 and 4 evenly?
2.
Yeah, it's going to be 2. And so all we're doing is finding 2 times what equals 10 and 2 times what equals 4x. This should be equals 10. I need to redo this. And it ends up being 5 and 2x, because 2 times 5 equals 10, 2 times 2x equals 4x. So 5 and 2x. And that's how it looks. 10 plus 4x equals 2 times 5 plus 2x. So this is just 2 numbers that we're factoring. And on this, it's a couple more. Oops, that's not it. I just had that in my hand. Yeah, this one's just longer. Same process. How do you feel about these?
I don't know.
You look a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Then let's just try doing some of these and see what happens. So what we're looking for here with this 6a minus 9 is a number that goes into both 6 and 9.
Three can go in there.
Yes. Right? And so you're absolutely right. It's going to be 3. And the reason we pull that out is because we want what's in the parentheses to be the lowest possible numbers to represent this little equation. So 3 times what is going to equal 6a? Or 6a divided by 3 equals what? Does that make sense? Not really.
No, why you just divide by the 3? I don't get it.
Okay, so what we're going to try to do is break this down as low as it can go. And we know that 3 goes into 6 evenly and it goes into 9 evenly. It goes into 6 twice, it goes into 9 3 times. So 3 is our main multiplier, and that goes on the outside of the parentheses. But we've got to fill these in. So we're looking for this to equal 6a minus 9, which means we've got 6a.
So you would put 2 A's in there,
You got it.
And then a 3.
You got it. That's perfect. That's exactly right.
Okay, I see now, kind of.
Yeah, it's new. It's not something that you often do. You do it during testing. So you have to know how to do it because it's on the test. It's frustrating. All right, what goes into 5 and 10?
A 5.
Yes. So we're going to start with the 5, parentheses, parentheses. And 5 times what equals 15?
So 3.
Yes. Plus 5 times what equals 10?
2z.
You got it.
And the sign and the symbol of adding and subtracting keeps the same.
Yes. Yes, this is getting you prepped for that whole. It's got to add up to that, or it's got to add up to that and multiply to that. And of course, this one, you have to do an extra step. You have to get rid of that 6, turn that 6 to a 0, which means it gets added to the 4. And then you've got 3 and 10. And it actually works, or you've got 2 and 10, which ends up being 5 and 2. All right, so we're looking at, now this one is not any harder than these two. Anytime you have a variable by itself, it's the same as if it were 1x. So in this case, what goes on the outside?
An x?
Yes, you got it. Which means to get x squared, we're going to times it by itself, right?
Uh-huh.
Plus, how do we get 5x?
Just 5, multiplying it by 5.
Yeah, you've got it. You know how to do these. I don't think you're going to have a problem with these on the test. I think you'll be fine on the longer ones. I'll find some longer ones for you to practice on. But I think you're going to be okay because you understand factoring. There's a big difference when someone does not see the numbers. Like you looked at this and you said, well, 5 goes into both of those, 3 goes into both of those. It's a lot harder for students who don't see the relationship in numbers, and you see it. You just have to get through that test. Because if it wasn't timed, you have no problem. All right, so we've got 3 and 12. What number goes into both of those?
3.
Yes, you got it. So this is going to be 3 on the outside. What we'll go
So
here.
you're gonna put there a squared or just a?
Yes, a squared. Good job.
A squared. Okay.
Yeah, because it's there's nothing we're not putting an a on the outside.
Yeah, and then
So,
for a.
yes, you got it. Good job. And then 20 and 6.
Oh wow. I would say a common factor. It can be 2. I don't know if the other one can be.
It's gonna have to be 2.
Yeah.
And we also have x's on both sides. So what's gonna go on the outside of these parentheses?
So we have x in both sides. So
So we know a 2 is going there. Are we gonna add anything to that 2? Not add like a plus sign, but.
So 2x.
You got it. Which would mean this, in order to get 2x times what to make 20xy would be?
2 times 10. But why is that y there?
To throw you off.
Okay, I see.
Yep, it's just to throw you off.
And then minus 3x.
Just minus 3.
No, just
You already have
3.
the x.
I already have the x.
Perfect. Good job. And then this one?
So that one, if 5 go outside, tú puedes matar a mosquito que hay por aquí. So yeah, that's definitely a 5 goes outside.
And do we want to put
the y outside?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Because this will be inside.
Yeah, 4 times 5 is 20.
And we've got y squared, so this one will be 4.
So we got y squared and y in the other one. We don't have a y squared.
Yeah, so we'll put y there because when we times this, we'll get 20y squared minus, and 5y times what equals 5y?
Times 1.
You got it. Good job. Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Does that make a little more sense now?
Yeah.
Puts it a little more in context. And then this one is the same thing, but with 3, which is exactly what this one is, because once you get rid of that 6, you've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. So x squared plus 3x minus 10. And that is easier to deal with. All right, and when you factor these out, you're just going back to the double brackets rather than single brackets, because this was just 1 that needed to be factored out. Well, now you've got 3 that need to be factored out. And you're looking for numbers that multiply into 12 and added up equals 7. And so we look at this. 1 times 12, yes, that equals 12. When they're added together, it equals 12. Another factor is 2 times 6 equals 12, but added together equals 8. We're looking for something that equals 7. 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 plus 4 equals 7. So we know it's going to be 3 and 4. And you can do this when you're looking at a problem. You've got that thing to write on. You can do this factoring if it makes more sense to you. Just start with 1. 1 times the whole number equals that number. Then break it down until you find the one that, when added together, matches that. So ultimately, to break this down, we end up with a plus 3, a plus 4. And if we do the FOIL method, a plus 3 times a plus 4, and you can also type this into your calculator. You don't have to do it by hand. You'll get, we're doing FOIL again. First, outside, inside, last. A times a is a squared, plus outside is 4a, plus inside is 3a, plus last is 3 times 4 is 12, a squared plus 7a plus 12. Look at that. We know it's correct because it matches. So if you get comfortable with this in the next 24 hours, you're going to have, the only issue you're going to have on the test are quadratic equations. And they take so long to do that I wouldn't even bother unless you have a ton of time at the end.
Okay, so in this, this one, there is three factors, right?
Yes.
How do you get to the answer? I don't know, I'm confused.
So in, they could give you a couple of different answer styles. They could give you an answer like this, or they could do this. And in that case, this would be, it would be 3 and 4. And they would do that when these are exactly the same, when you don't have outlying numbers like on here, x squared. It works for this one for them to give it to you this way, because by the time you figure it all out, it will be x plus x plus 5, x minus 2. And they did a goof here. It should have been 5 and then goof 2. But it ends up being the same. But you see that? So from this big thing,
Yeah.
If we broke it down just like we were doing, we'd still end up with what look like coordinates. These are not actually coordinates. And that's what throws students off. This is brackets, not actually parentheses. It's this shape, not this. So it looks like coordinates. And I've had students who say, well, I don't understand because these should be graphing coordinates. So I don't get how it relates, but it's actually brackets. It's just another way to write the numbers. I mean, this would have made more sense to students, but they did that on purpose just to mess with you. All right. So go ahead and try.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanna do this 3. So you already showed me. So you already showed me 2 different steps on how to get this, but this step I don't know how to get to that point.
Okay, so let's. So we've got b squared plus 9b plus 20. So we're looking for numbers that when they're multiplied equal 20, but when they're added equal 9. So let's just start with 1 times 20. And when they're added, they equal 21. So that's probably not it. 2 times 10, but added, they equal 12. Probably not it. 3 doesn't work in 20. 4 works. 4 times 5 equals 20. And what do they equal when they're added?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so that's going to be it. And b squared, we know that b squared is going to break down to b times b. We like this one because it's positive. We don't have to worry about a negative sign. So plus, and then 4 and 5. And it was that easy because we did this. And then we could turn around and do the FOIL.
So let me copy this real quick because I don't want to get this confused that I am right now. Okay. Okay, so this is when okay, how do I say this? Let me say one step, but if we go to the other paper that you have there, there's a different step or how to get to this. Yeah, those, you see?
Okay. Yes. So on this, I'm going to rewrite this problem from the other problem on the test. x2 plus 3x minus 4 equals 6. So they added an extra layer by making it an equal 6, which means we have to make it 0. So what do we do to make 6 0?
So you just add that to the minus 4?
Yes. So we're going to say take away 6 because that will be 0. But what we do here, we have to do on this one. So -4 and -6 equal what?
10, -10.
Yes. So -10. And then we just drop the rest of it back down the way it is. x2 plus 3x minus 10. So we're going to figure out what two numbers times or multiplied equal 10 or negative 10, but added equal 3. So we're going to start with 1 times negative 10, and 1 plus negative 10 is 9. 2 times negative 5 added together equal
It's 10,
negative
11.
3.
Okay. Why? So if you add a positive number and negative number, that give you a negative number.
Yes, if the bigger number is, yes. Which we need because we've got a negative right here. You could do it the other way too, because you could go through here and say negative 1 times negative 10, oh, excuse me, times 10. That also equals 9. Negative 2 times 5 is 10, but added together is 3. So this is a positive 3. We probably want to go with a negative 2 and positive 5. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So then if we were going to break these out into parentheses, we've got x and x. And then we don't even have to look at this again because we've got them right here. Negative 2 and positive 5. And if we do it again, we just turn around and do the FOIL method. We're going to come back to this.
Okay.
And it actually doesn't really matter if you go with 2, negative 5, or a negative 2, 5, because when you do the multiplication, you're going to end up with this either way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when they give you the equal, you just have to make that 0. So this problem equals 0. And it's like when you do any other linear equation, if you subtract it from this side of the equal sign, you have to subtract it from this side.
What about the second one?
The C2 minus 3C minus 10.
I'm trying to do it, but how do I get to the 3? Because
All
2
right.
times 5 is 10, but that's 2 positive numbers, and it's not gonna give me 3.
And in order to get negatives on both, one number has to be positive, right? Because if both of these are negative, then this is going to be positive. If both of these are positive, this is going to be positive. But when they're both negative, one has to be positive, one has to be negative in order to come up with negative, negative. So we do that whole factoring thing again for the 10. What times what equals 10, and then added together equals 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so -1 and -10 is -11 when added together. -2 times -5 is -7 when added together. Oh, whoops, sorry. One of those has to be positive. That's what I just said, huh? Duh. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to confuse you. So what was this one? This was c squared minus 3c minus 10. And so if we did 1 times -10, together that equals 9 if they're added up. 2 times -5 equals -3. And so that's going to be it, because 2 times -5 is -10, and then -3 when added together. So these are your
in this case, I will have to find the way, but one of the number has to be negative.
Yeah, one has to be negative, one has to be positive, because if they're both negative, they're going to be positive. If they're both positive, they're going to be positive.
Yeah. So in this case would be c plus 2 and c minus 5.
Perfect.
I'm gonna try if I can do the last one. Okay, so here we only have one number.
Yes.
So there'll be factor of 1, because 30 plus 1 is
Yes.
30. But there's not a number there.
The y will be the same as 1y.
1y, but like which number multiplied by 30 will give you 1 when you add it? That's not what we're trying to find here.
Oh, that's right. So let's see. It's y squared plus y minus 30. Because yeah, if we do 1 and -30, it's going to be -29.
Negative 29.
2 and -15 is going to be -13. 3 and -10 are going to be -7.
Okay, 5 times 6.
You got it.
5
Good
times
job.
6.
Yeah.
So 5 times -6, we can say.
Yes.
And we have minus 30. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got these. Excellent.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, that was a lot, huh? But you're getting it. I can see it in your face. It's starting to make more sense.
Yeah, it's a lot. And when I don't understand something, I just get frustrated.
Well, it is frustrating, and you've got a lot to know for this one test. I mean, you would never have to know all this different kind of math for any other test. If you're in an algebra class, you're going to take tests at the end of each unit.
Mm-hmm.
So it all builds on each other. And here you have to know so much. It's just, and you're not even guaranteed that you're going to get this kind of problem, but you have to know how to do it just in case. So let's try, I'm going to give you this one to try. This one's a little bigger, but that's okay. 4x squared plus 8x minus 5. And just remember, this first one, you don't have to break that number down other than to make it the same number on both sides. But what you do want to do is something times something equals 5, added together equals 8. Is that going to work?
Okay.
No, that's not going to work. Something times something. That's going to be. This might be too big a jump. Hold on. Yeah, ignore this. You won't have, I don't think you'll have that on the test. Oh, we didn't do this one. Word problems, which I'm sure are your favorite thing to do. Stella's renting a car for a business trip. The car rental agency charges a flat rate of $60 plus 50 cents for every mile, over 40 miles.
Yeah.
Her company will pay up to $270, excluding cost of gas, for the use of the rental car. What is the greatest number of miles Stella can drive without spending more than $270?
Okay, so let me tell you what I did and just correct me.
Perfect.
Okay, so okay, I don't see anything. Okay, so I got so she doesn't want to spend more than 270, right?
Right.
Okay, so we get 270, and we already gonna take out of 70 those $60 that add the charge of flat rate.
Perfect.
Okay, so we got 210, right?
Perfect.
And then it says a mile is 50 cents. So what I did was I divide 210 into 0.50, and that
Perfect.
gave me 420 miles. I don't know if I was right.
Yep, and any amount of miles she drives over 40 So we've got to add that 40 miles back into this because she doesn't have to pay for the first 40. So she can go 420 at 50 cents a mile, but she actually goes 460 because she had 40 miles for free. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah,
It's
I got
sneaky.
one
It's
student that
sneaky.
didn't.
You're absolutely correct.
So it says per mile, for every mile she drives over 40 miles.
So you are correct when you get to here. What we have to make sure is what is the greatest number of miles she can drive without going over. So
Okay,
we've got to account for the free 40 miles. They're free, but we want to know how far she can drive. We already know she's going to pay for 420, but these are free.
so we subtract 40. Oh, we add.
Yeah. So your answer will be 460 miles.
Damn it. You see, I got that wrong.
Well, and they do that to throw you off. And I wish they would not do these write-ins, because even if you just happen to type the wrong number, it's wrong. But this is a sneaky question. But you're right. You're good. You've got it all the way to here. You just have to account for that extra 40 miles. She didn't have to pay for it, but we're figuring out how far she can actually drive. And that means we have to account for that. So we just take what you figured out, add 40, and that's the answer. Sneaky, huh?
Yeah. I need you to. Okay, let me find the ones that you sent me. I need you to show me how to do this.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. No, hold on.
Oh, yeah. I sent that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, like which table of value represents a function? Because I know that thing is gonna show up in my test, and I don't wanna freak out with it. And so I feel like I'm kind of comfortable with slopes.
Yes.
But this okay, so these functions that have nothing to do with they have nothing to do with slopes, right?
Right. Oh, that's terrible, that picture. Wow.
What other thing that I'm having a little trouble with it is my girlfriend explained it to me, but I just wanna be comfortable, is find the slope of a line.
So for the function, you're not concerned about slope for any of this? Can you see that screen?
Yeah, I can see. I have it here too.
Okay. So when you're looking at this, what they're asking you for is, and we brushed over this the other day. I think we brushed over it on Monday. A function, for something to be a function, X will never repeat. Y can repeat, but X will not repeat.
Well, in all these in all of these tables, the X repeat himself, so.
Except for one.
Oh, okay. The very first one. Yeah, minus -4 and +4.
Yes. So the first one represents functions, because the rest of them, X copies itself.
But let's say we have two tables, right? That on the X, they are correct, but on the Y's, they're not. How do I identify that?
So when we are graphing, let me, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Why?
So here's what happens if X repeats. So let's say we've got 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3. So here's the problem when X repeats. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We've got 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. See what's happening there?
Yeah.
And then 2 and 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So this we know is undefined. It screws up our function. So if we get, that's why we don't want this to repeat. It doesn't matter if Y repeats, but it matters if X repeats. So if we had done 4 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that kind of screwed it up too, didn't it? Interesting. Well, that totally blew my argument. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that blew my argument. Dang it. I hate it when that happens. But it's just a function is a function of X. And you've probably seen where it'll look like this. It'll be f X.
Yeah, f and X.
Yeah, function of X. So X cannot repeat. For anything to work as a function of X, X has to be different, but Y can be the same. And that's really, I think that's the big thing right here, is a function is always a function of X.
Okay.
Interesting, huh? And there was another problem that you had sent. What was it? What was it? What was it? It was like, it was with these tables and it had wanted to know which one wasn't a function. Oh no, you had to add two numbers. You had to add an X and a Y. And it was easy to figure out the X because the others were used. And the pattern was that Y was always bigger than X. And so there was only one number it could be, just by process of elimination. You remember that one?
I do not.
I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it over to you. Just so you can see a different, like this one that we just did. You can see the same type of issue, but in a different format. And then for, where is it?
And can you explain me as well, finding the slope of the line?
Yes. So let's go back to the board. Yeah, because this will be all over the test. They'll have lots of slope questions.
Because they give you an equation and then you have to find the slope. That I know. You just have to you have to divide it by the y.
Yes.
And
Or
then
count. Let me see here. Let me find an equation. Slope equation. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, the video. I don't like videos for. Oh, come on. Okay, is this the one you're thinking of?
I can give you an example. I have
Oh,
some of them here. I have 5x plus 4y equals 10. And they say find the slope of the line.
All right, so this is the y equals mx plus b. And why is this thing in the middle of my screen? So if we turn this into y, we have to reverse the problem. Equals 5/10.
Then you have to
Hold on 1 second. My computer's being weird.
Bad face. En 20 minutos. Un momento, es que son 2 horas, ¿eh? Estoy muy estresado.
Sí.
No aprendí.
¿Eh?
No aprendido nada.
Y ahora, ¿cómo que no? Lo que pasa es que es mucho, son muchos ejercicios a la misma vez. Es un examen que es ejercicio de todos tipos, no es solo de un tipo. No, estoy poniendo el culo. Tú eres mala. 2. Solo son tuyos, María no va a comer.
¿Por qué?
Ya ella comió el pescado ese con mango.
¿Y cómo hiciste eso?
Los
¿Qué
freí.
tipo? ¿Qué tipo?
El mismo que tenemos ahí en el frío. Pero esta vez los vamos.
Tienes que enseñarnos.
Mira, esta vez vamos a comprar los pescados en el Kroger, en el mercado que yo siempre voy con María. No en Walmart.
¿Por qué?
Ah, no sé, lo vi mejor. Más calidad.
No, se ve rico eso.
Sí,
Pero almorzaste a qué hora.
a las 12. Cuando, ¿qué hora fue? 12.
Robyn,
Yeah.
can I tell you what my girlfriend did and just for you to tell me if it's right or wrong?
Your girlfriend is always right. That is a good lesson to know. She is always, always right. All right, so this is your slope-intercept equation. This is the equation they gave you.
Yeah.
And we need to get it sort of to match this. So that means we've got to move the 4y out over to this side, which means we have to change the equation a little bit. And you can do this by, you just recalculate them or order them. 5x minus 10. That is how you reorganize an equation. So you can make this the front, just like this, equals 5x minus 10 by turning that into a negative.
You did
So
it.
now it looks like this, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
Symbols.
And then you've got to get rid of this 4 because we need y to be 0. So we're going to get rid of 4.
And the whole thing divided by 4.
Yeah. Whole
That's
thing.
what you did.
I told you she was right. Just assume she's always right. Your life will be very happy. And then you've got 5x over 4 minus 10 over 4, or however that works best for you. You can either do the one line or each individually. And so you've got y equals, here's your slope, 5/4. And here is your y-intercept. You would actually break this down, you'd reduce it. 10/4 is the same as 5/2. So that's your slope-intercept. And that is your slope. That make sense?
Wait, hold on. I'm lost now.
Oh, okay. Let me try this again.
So, it's in the...
So you start with this equation, which doesn't quite match your slope-intercept equation. So
Yeah,
that's the first thing you do.
I'm with you until the second step. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so we've got to get the y by itself. We've got to get rid of that 4.
Yeah.
And this is just like any other linear equation. We're going to divide out the y, but what
Right.
we do on one side, we have to do on the other.
Yeah.
And you can either write it like this with just the 1 line over 4, or you can break it into separate. So
So, but
5x
how do you do that one line? 5x minus 10 divided by 4.
divided by 4. And it's the same as this, 5x/4 minus 10/4. 5x/4 minus 10/4. But for slope-intercept, it's easier to make them separate over the 4 because that's your slope and that's your intercept. And anytime you have a fraction, no matter where it is, if you can reduce it, reduce it. You don't look like you're buying it. It's a lot. You have a lot coming at you. If I go here, what I probably should have done to make it easier for you, I probably should have just said, 4y
What are these?
equals 5x minus 10. And we're going to subtract out 4 here because that will cross, it will cancel out. 5x/4, 10/4. And that's your slope right there. 5/4, you don't have to do anything to it. It is done. But the 10/4, which is your intercept, that needs to be reduced to 5/2.
So what we're looking, okay, what they're asking is just for the slope. So it would be the 5/4, right?
Yes. And I believe this, yes, on your sheet, which will be connected to your test, you don't have to memorize this because it's on the form. You just want to make, if they give you an equation like this, you just need to make it match this. So move the y over. So 4y equals 5x minus 10. By making that a negative, it works. And then you get rid of the 4 off both sides. So you end up with 4y over 4 equals 5x/4. That's your slope. Minus 10/4. And that's your intercept. And it matches this perfectly. Y, slope, intercept.
I got another one here.
Okay.
It's y equals -2 x plus 7. And they ask you the same here, find the slope of the line.
So this one, the slope is -2. You don't even have to mess with that one. Did it have a different answer?
They had an answer of 2x minus 7.
Oh, this is what they did. They don't like, math does not like the variable to have the negative. And it's kind of like what we did when we changed the equation back here.
Mm-hmm.
We moved them around, which meant we had to make that number negative. Same thing, we can make this 2x minus 7. So we just basically are moving the negative over to the other number. And that's just something you'll get comfortable with the more math you do. It's just one of those things. It comes with practice. It's just like you're able to see in the problems we were doing earlier. You were able to see the greatest common denominator, or the greatest common factor. You can just look at two numbers and say, well, yeah, 5 goes into both of those. It's the same thing. You can move equations around by moving the negative sign or inserting a negative sign. It's weird. I should find something that explains it.
And before we finish, I would like for you to explain me something real quick as well.
Sure.
It's on the email that you sent me that says algebra practice.
Yes.
You attached me something there. A lot of exercises to do, but I had trouble with a lot of them.
Okay. Let me see. What did I send you?
You have it on hand, or you want me to send it to you?
Well, I have the sent file. What did I do? Algebra. There we go. Download. Print. Oh, yeah. Fun, fun, fun. Print that. Print. All right. That's it.
Yep, that one is the first one that I want to ask you.
Okay, so this is back to functions. Each value of x relates to only one value of y. So y equals x plus 6. Whatever x is, y must be greater than x by the number 6. So a function table shows the values for each pair of variables as a result of the particular function. They give you the, hurry up, Tyler, you're very noisy.
So what I understand there, they give you this y equals x plus 6, and then they give you this table. But what they doing there is just adding 6 to the negative 10.
Yes.
Adding 6 to the negative 2. So you just have to add that number.
Yep.
To the x's.
Yep. 0 plus 6, 3 plus 6, 5 plus 6, 8 plus 6.
God damn, I hate math. I don't like it.
The things that seem really hard are easy, and the things that seem easy are hard. It's annoying. And
So,
this one,
yeah,
you have to times it by 2. So all you're doing
What about that 2x?
This one here.
Yeah.
So you're just going to take this x and substitute it right there. So 2 times 0 minus 2. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, right? So this y is -2. Then you go to the next one.
So
2 times 1.
So you have to multiply and subtract.
Yes. And all you're doing is you're substituting each one of these numbers for the x.
For
So
the
2
x.
times 1 is 2 minus 2. This is 0.
Wow.
2 times 3. 2 times 3 minus 2. So that's 6 minus 2.
I don't know if I'm gonna get one of this, but it's good to know this.
Yeah, it is good to know. And that's all you do is you just substitute every number in the x column for the x up here, and then do the arithmetic. Interesting, huh? They look scarier than they are.
What about the lesson 4.1? It says defining the functions, and they give you some tables.
Okay, so the side of each table represents a function by stating yes or no.
Is it the same thing here that you said that x is never repeated?
And interestingly, in none of these, x doesn't repeat. So what happens is here, this is not a function because we have no idea what these mean. So that's
Okay.
a no.
The second one, I think, it
That's
is.
a yes. And you can see the pattern. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Functions are always going to have a pattern.
A pattern, okay.
This one, no.
It's no, because it has two outputs, and
Right.
that's not a function.
This one, no.
Not either.
No.
We don't know about the CAB.
Yeah. So the only one that's a function
is that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was one of the problems that you had sent me last week.
Yeah, remember?
Yes. And
Yeah.
really the best way to do it is look for the pattern. Like in this, you know, it's 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 2
Yeah, but
is
remember that pattern on the one that I sent you was messed up.
Yes.
It had different patterns.
It did, and you had to go all the way down to see that the pattern repeated itself.
Yeah.
It was an unfair problem, and the only reason you could do it was because they gave you a selection of numbers. If they had just said, "What's the next one?" you wouldn't have any way of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
But because they gave you numbers to choose from, you could eliminate the ones that repeated on
That's
the
what they like to do. Seems
Yes.
like that's what they like to do. Just put.
Yes, very much so.
Robyn, can we go to the lesson 3.4?
Yes. Solving complex I variable equations.
Yeah, all of those. Those gave me almost a heart attack. I don't know.
Oh, no, 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 no. So all you are doing is combining things that are alike. So in number 1, you're going to combine 3x and 2x.
Okay.
It's 5x. Because they're like terms, so they can be put together. And then the 4 and the 5, you combine those because they're just digits.
Okay, I did. You see, I did it all wrong.
let's see, do they want you to figure them out? Oh yeah, you can. See, now you can figure it out. 5x plus 9 equals 34. In this case, you'd subtract the 9 from both sides. So it'd be 5x equals 25, or x equals 5. So for this next one, this is not pretty when they give you fractions. So this is going to be 1/2 x plus 1/2 times 8 would be 4 minus 15 equals 3. And on these, this is when you use that calculator on the screen, because you can type this in. There's the fraction key, that n/d. You click that. 1/2, arrow out of that, parentheses, x. What's the x? There's an x on here somewhere. X plus 8, parentheses, minus 15. Is that correct? Let me make sure this is correct. Equals -3. That would be -11. Yep, that's correct. Equals -3. So you can type these in. If they get too cumbersome with fractions and things, you can type them into your calculator. And it will get you to this point, and then you have to figure out you have to add 11, add 11. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This one, 185 equals -3r minus -20r plus negative, oh, that's a long one.
We don't, it's okay, Robyn. We don't have to do them all. I just wanted to see what was the steps to follow, because I had no idea what to do.
Okay, and what you're doing is you're really just combining terms that are the same. So any r, they have to match. So you'll end up combining the -3r and the 20r, and you only have one digit, the 8. And then if you're going to solve the problem, once you've got it set up, you can minus the 8 from both sides and then find r. And these are basically linear equations. And as I know you know how to do them. These are confusing because they're clustered together. But I know you know how to do them.
And also on lesson 3.5, they give you linear equations, and you have to graph the function.
Oh, you will not have to do this on the test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, you won't have to graph anything on the test.
Okay, and then I don't want to worry about this.
Yeah, worry about that if you end up taking an algebra class.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to send you a couple of videos on the stuff we were working on today.
Yeah.
And I'll send you more slope equations just so you can practice.
And
Once you've got it, you'll have it. You'll have no problem doing them.
And please, Robyn, don't forget, send me a couple of GED's practice tests.
Yes, I'll send you a couple practice tests. And if you find ones that are new and you want some help on, just do as you've been doing and send them to me and I'll do a little video for you. And if you need to meet tomorrow, just let me know. Because your test is Friday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday.
What time on
2:30.
Friday? 2:30.
2:30.
All right, so that'll be 11:30 my time. So I'll be thinking about you. And you'll
Yeah,
be
I will send you an email once I get the
Yes.
I get the score. Hope I pass it.
Yes, and it'll be a big fat pass. You'll be all done. All done. All right, so I have some stuff to get together for you, and then you just let me know.
Yeah, now I'm starting to get a little nervous because I feel like this practice test of the GED, I don't know if they helping me because, okay, I get a score of 154. Okay, that's not great, but that's good, right?
It is good.
But I don't know if I'm going in a right direction or not. So
You'll graduate. You'll do it. And a 154 on the practice test is a good score. What you're likely to see on the test, it's double the size, but you'll probably have several of the same type of questions.
yeah.
So, which is a little bit better because you can do the same thing over and over and over again.
I don't know. How can I score 190?
190. I don't think anybody has ever scored a 190. Wow, if you do that, you'll probably get a college scholarship.
I mean, I'm not looking for it, but I'm just saying,
But
why
go
can
for
I
it.
just score so high? Like they always, I don't know. I wonder how they do all the points and stuff to give you the score.
Yeah, and all the questions are weighted differently. So it's not like every question is worth 1 point or 2 points. Some are worth 3, some are worth 4, some are worth 1, which is how you end up with a score like 143 or 144. And it's aggravating. I think they should just weight them all the same. So all right, I got that many wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple. They like to mess with you.
Okay, Robyn. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I will definitely, if I need your help, I would email you. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Have a good evening.
You too as well. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.